In recent times, the game Lost Ark has gained a lot of popularity online. Before that, many players turned to games like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV for a traditional MMORPG experience. But about 2 years ago, Riot Games marked their 10th anniversary with some significant announcements during their celebration. Riot would be releasing a first-person shooter, VALORANT, a card game, Legends of Runeterra, and a mobile version of League of Legends, Wild Rift. But that's not all. Many more projects were announced, like a League of Legends fighting game, and it also hinted that the developer was working on a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, or MMORPG, set in the rule of Runeterra. In 2020, this was finally confirmed by Riot, and so we've decided to scrounge up everything we know about the upcoming game just for you. The elusive Riot MMO that they have announced on their 10th year anniversary remains one of the company's most exciting announcements to date, especially given that it will be set in the world of Runeterra, the setting that frames the iconic MOBA League of Legends. While details remain thin on the ground, a recent interview with executive producer Greg Ghostcrawler Street confirms that, while fan theories aside, it will remain faithful to League of Legends' extensive lore. For now, Riot Games has not revealed an exact release date for the upcoming League of Legends MMO, but it will likely be released mid-2024 or even later. From all game types, an MMO is the most ambitious, and it's also the most difficult to pull off well. Riot is recruiting and hiring multiple people for various jobs on the MMO, but a project of this scale will take time to perfect, especially with all the fans having such high expectations from all the lore we've been getting fed through the last few years. In fact, at this current point in time, Riot has over 200 positions available. But what do we know about the game itself? What regions will we be able to explore? What classes will there be? Will we get a map soon? And more importantly, will I finally get out of the bronze rank? Probably not. While there are no details as of yet regarding what regions we will see in the League of Legends MMO, there are 13 named areas that Riot currently picks champs from, and we'll likely see these regions selected for the new MMO title. At this current point in time, Runeterra has 13 regions. I'm gonna do my best to try and pronounce them. Bandle City, Bilgewater, Demacia, Iona, Ixtal, Noxus, Piltover, Shadow Isles, Shurima, Targon, the Freljord, the Void, and Zan. Riot Games may decide to only start with some of these. They've selected just 8 as card regions for Legends of Runeterra, but we'd expect them to eventually add all the iconic League of Legends areas to the planned online game. Or who knows, maybe they'll add new regions. We don't want you to get your hopes up for that one though, since nothing has been confirmed yet. With the release of Nilla, as well as the League of Legends novel, Runation, we also found out about an eastern continent with countries like Kamavor and Katkan. These could also be regions added to the game at a later date. There has been no official confirmation that the League of Legends MMO will copy Runeterra exactly, but we'd be surprised if it didn't. That means players will be able to navigate around this huge, fantastical land either through fast travel or simply adventuring across the lands and regions. If Riot Games sticks to the same design as other popular MMORPG titles, we can expect to see a healthy collection of professions or classes that define each player character. These often boil down to the standard fantasy tropes like fighter, healer, and wizard. While League of Legends is a little different, each champion does fall into a similar role like these, with a little bit of variance between them. These may translate over to the new MMO once it's released. As with regions, however, there's no telling what the League of Legends developers may eventually decide. Riot could also choose to forego the League of Legends class entirely, or pick just a few of the more popular ones to start with. We'll have to wait and see. If you've played League of Legends, then you'll have some idea as to which champions belong into which category, so you can already imagine what you'll want your MMO character to play like, right? Another big question on your mind probably is, will Riot's new MMO be free to play? Thus far, all of Riot's Games titles have been free to play. Therefore, we will bet some money on it that this MMORPG will also be free to play with in-game purchases. Since this is dubbed the League of Legends MMO, many of the features from League of Legends should also be applied to the MMO. While it might incorporate a monetization system, we believe that it will not be in the sense that it might damage a player's experience. Riot Games has never forced microtransactions and only charges money for skins. skins. Hence, players can expect skins to also be a part of the MMO. However, be aware that there could also be a subscription pack included, as running an MMO of this magnitude will require revenue. Thus, the League of Legends MMO might have a $12 or $15 per month subscription, similar to be found at in World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV. Lastly, major expansions will probably need to be purchased, just like with every other MMO on the market. But on the bright side, in a recent tweet, Greg Street, who is the head of the MMO project at Riot Games, stated that the MMO will be canon when asked about it on Twitter. Short answer, yes. Long answer, think about it this way. If we're successful and have millions of players playing hundreds of hours with just as much time discussing story and characters with their friends and online, it will become the focus of the lore. MMOs have a way of doing that. This means that the narrative team will have to closely work alongside the MMO team to create a believable world for the MMORPG, as well as believable stories that fit into Runeterra and the world of League of Legends. If you've managed to play through the game and level your character up to max, then there will, of course, be the dreaded endgame. Lead producer Greg Street has already stated that there will be dungeons and raids. As to what raids or dungeons we can expect, I would imagine that we can see several of the League of Legends monsters from the Summoner's Rift, such as Baron Nashor or several of the dragons. So if you're worried about the endgame, know that Riot is working on making dungeons and raids exciting for you to enjoy. It is one of the most important parts of the game, and Riot wants to deliver. Who's working on the game? Well, as we've already mentioned, Greg Street is the lead on the MMO. This guy right here, not even going to try and pronounce his name.
My name is
Mateusz Tomaszkiewicz.
all right, Mr.
Tomaszkiewicz.
Is the lead quest designer of The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077, and has also signed on to the project, which can only mean that there will be some pretty cool quests in the game. Hopefully we'll find out more about this exciting project Riot Games is working on, and we get to experience the world of Runeterra in the next few years. We have the lore, we have the base for it all, now it just has to come together in this big, massive, multiplayer online role-playing game. We would honestly be extremely surprised if Riot manages to mess this up in any sort of way, considering how much of the groundwork they have already done. Still, just to make sure expectations are running too high, in 2021, Riot Games issued a warning about their new League of Legends MMORPG. Not everyone is going to love the planned open world Runeterra title, and that's okay. They're not aiming to make a total crowd pleaser. One thing I can say about the unannounced MMORPG is you won't all love every feature in it. The executive producer Greg Ghostcrawler Street warned, we're going to make some choices that you may or may not agree with. Players want different things in their games, and that's fine. Some of you may not love the game at all. Also fine. We will also make a ton of mistakes. However, we are prepared to pivot if design doesn't meet goals. What do you think about this new MMO from Riot Games? Do you expect it to be very similar to League of Legends? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And if you want to hear the newest and latest stories from the gaming world, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click that bell icon so you're notified every time we post a new video. Or we will patch you.